Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to have you on our Fast Track to Sales Coordinator call. This is just really one of my favorite calls because it really is hearing from the people out there who have got momentum in their business. And what we noticed was when we did this Fast Track to Sales Coordinator series a couple of years ago, we, in our organization worldwide, between all the other amazing teams that are out there, develop more sales coordinators within that time than any other time in the business, other than right now because their team's exploding all over the world, especially over there in Australia and Poland and the US. We've got some great movement going on here in Canada. So just wanted to thank you for being on this call. You'll notice that this really is where you build that momentum. So if you have people that are new in the business, or if you're just, if you're stuck at sales coordinator, or stuck at a position, let's just make sure to get you on these Fast Track to Sales Coordinator calls and get that going for you and your team. So my name is Lauren Slocum-Lahav, National Marketing Director from Las Vegas, Nevada. And as you can tell, I haven't had time to put on any makeup because I've been on calls since 7 this morning, and I love it. Love these days of really just hunkering down. And I'm very excited to introduce this amazing mama on a mission to you. I met her when she was pregnant. And she was committed to just rocking and rolling this business. I'm sure she'll share her why. And just more than anything, she's an amazing servant leader. I mean, you can always tell people when you meet them about, their generous spirit or not. And she's definitely got a generosity of spirit. And I think when you look at her and you're around her, you're like, I want to be like that. And she's Erin McPherson is a busy mama of 3 who built her business while being a mama and running a traditional business with her husband. She's built an amazing team of moms and loves to see people be able to have the dreams that they desire to stay home and do. I love what she says, mom care instead of daycare. And so you will hear her story and hear her tidbits of wisdom, but it's important to hear this wisdom, but it's more important to really apply. And I think that she built herself, and excuse me if I'm wrong, Erin, but I know that I think you built to 24 Club before you were even NMD. I know that your income was more than, it was already a 6-figure income before you even got to NMD. I remember some of those months that you had. So I would highly encourage you guys to not just take the information of what you're going to learn, but really apply it. What I love about Erin is her desire to really be a great sideline and buddy up with sidelines as well. That's where I feel that I've really grown my business of meeting great sidelines where I really resonate with as well. But thank you for taking the time out to share with everybody. And we're here to support you if you ever got anybody going in. Carolina's in Poland. Yvette is in the UK. As you know, we've got Wendy in Las Vegas, Manon in San Francisco. We've got Leah up there in Canada. Andre, and you've got people all over the world that I just want you to know, because of your generosity of spirit, we're really here to support you if you've got new people going as well. So let's pass it on over to you about your bits of wisdom of really getting people to fast track to that sales coordinator. And I'm going to turn my video off for a second. Gotcha.
Okay, thanks. I actually started in the business and I did this fast track SC call right at the start, and I took it so seriously. I don't know if you remember, Lauren, we had to be on the calls at a certain time or we'd get booted out of the program. I don't know if you still do.
Yeah.
But I was traveling to Fiji with my family and I had to figure out each day what time the call was. I couldn't figure out the conversions. I was so confused, but I was still trying to get on the calls every day. My husband was like, what are you doing? We're on holidays. And I was like, no, this is really important. So yeah, I learned a lot from those calls, and it definitely kickstarted my business because I took it really seriously. I was like, no, I have to be on these calls. I just learned and soaked up all the information. So I think, that really kicked off my business really well. So I was really lucky to have access to those calls. So I'll just share my story quickly. I have, 3 kids. I came into the business after using the products and I loved them. I'm part of Adam and Kira Westwick's team here in Australia. So Obviously being affiliated and being able to work with Adam and Kira has been amazing. But yeah, once I found out there was a business, I thought, this looks amazing. Adam had mentioned to me that there was an event on in the city, and to go in and meet this guy, Simon Mitchell, I had no idea who he was, but I was really teachable. So I just jumped in my car and I went into the city. I didn't know who I was meeting. I didn't know what I was doing, but I heard the stories, and Simon ran me through the numbers, and that when I saw that, I just, that really caught my attention. I left there so excited. I drove home so fast saying to my husband, I'm so excited. I can't believe this. He didn't really catch on to my enthusiasm, but that was okay. I just kept going. And I think at the start, I just cleared everything out of my head. I just did the work. I didn't think about, is what I'm doing right now, making me stacks of money. I just knew that I had to do all the groundwork. I spoke to so many people. I was just connecting with so many people, and just learning as I went. I was growing my confidence. I technically didn't really know what I was doing, but I was just, on my journey, just figuring it out as I went along. I hung in there. I wasn't making huge money at the start, but I kind of understood that was going to be okay, because my vision was already big of where I was going, and I guess that just grew and grew and grew. So yeah, even though I guess at the time I was running a business with my husband, which we've been doing together for I think 7 or so years, and it pretty much, steals the fun out of our life running a traditional business. We've got our kids, but we're spending so much time focused on our business that we never get to really pour into the kids. Like, a lot of the time our business takes away from the kids because we're trying to sort out things to do with our business all the time. It totally overtook our life. So for me, the Juice Plus business really offered a solution, and I don't think I even knew at the time how much of a solution I had in my hands. I knew that I was going to work hard. But now I understand that, like, we're getting way closer to being able to take ourselves out of this business completely. So the power of that is amazing. And really what I focus on now is just how I can help other people. So, that this business being such a gift, I already know now, and I knew early on in my business that I could pass that gift on. So I think harnessing that and knowing that, it wasn't about like me and what I could do with the business. I was already thinking about how I could help other people. So I guess when I look at, Tasha asked me to sort of cover my non-negotiables for success. And I guess the first one for me is being consistent. I would say that over the past, I think I've been in the business nearly 2 years now, I would have worked on my business, every single day. If I didn't work on my business, it was probably because I was in hospital having a baby, and then I practically probably still did work anyway. So it wasn't much that held me back. There aren't many evenings where I'm not on my computer working instead of sitting watching TV, because I know that watching TV doesn't help my family and help to change our life. So I'm consistent every day, but I'm consistent with everything. I use the products. I love the products. I check in with my team. I check in with my customers. I'm on training every week. If I'm committed to an event, I'm on that event. So I think that, as much as it's good to be consistent and work every day, you want to cover all those different aspects of your business. And being consistent, people know that you're consistent. If you say, I'm going to be on an event every Wednesday, that I'm committed to that every week, you're taking it seriously. You're really committing to your business. And that's totally different to someone who says, I'm going to commit to an event, and then the next week they don't show up. So whatever it is you're doing, just be committed and consistent to those things. And I definitely don't see any reason why you can't work on your business every day. Everyone is busy. It doesn't have to be a large amount of time. None of us, especially when we're starting out, have large amounts of time to put into our business. It's not realistic to say I'm going to spend a huge 2 or 3 or 4 hours on my business every day. If you can say, what's realistic for you, I'm going to spend 30 minutes, an hour a day. Even 15 minutes is better than nothing. So being consistent with that, I think, is really important. Okay, I'll just keep going. The other non-negotiable for me is positivity. There are going to be things that come up in your business that are going to knock you around a little bit, people who aren't as supportive as you'd like, neg ferrets, just the day-to-day stuff that happens. Even in your normal life, you're going to have things where you'll just be feeling maybe a bit flat, but if you can turn that around and just be positive, I think that makes a huge difference. I always try that no matter what's happening, if someone in my team's upset about something or something's happened, I try to turn everything into a positive, because there's really no point getting upset about things, spending your time worrying about things that don't matter. If there's someone who's bringing a bit of a negative vibe in, I'll kind of try and, just turn it around and not enter into anything negative that just doesn't serve me or my team at all. I really only want to work with positive people, and I think that, I guess, even when you're starting up, I would definitely suggest just trying to block out anyone who's negative. Don't let negative things get into your mind, because when you get into a negative space, there's no way your business is going to grow, because you're focusing your energy on the wrong things. I definitely found that when I came into the business, we were taught a system. So we have so much to plug into with all of our teams, with Lauren and our team out here in Australia. We have so much support, so many systems. We're learning from people who've done this before. They know what they're doing. They're teaching us. So we really have to just let go and follow those systems. That's definitely been one of the big keys to my success, that I simplified everything first of all, and then I just followed the system. So if someone told me to do something, if Adam told me to go get in my car and go to an event, I went to an event. If someone said conference is on, you need to be there, I would make it happen. It wasn't always easy. I might have to leave my kids, or juggle the kids, or put one of the kids into we were at the Gold Coast last year, and we had a big 90-day game plan event, and one of my children wouldn't go into the childcare facility that day. He just kept trying to run out. So Adam eventually took my baby back and got him to stay in the childcare, and I was ready to give up that day. I was ready to say, look, he's just not going to go. I'm going to take him home. So I don't know. I guess just doing whatever you have to do to make it happen is really important. But yeah, sorry, going back to following the system, use your upline. If someone is there offering you help or advice, I would definitely recommend following that. Don't listen to what they say and then say, oh, well, I'm just going to do it my own way anyway. I would definitely listen to what they have to say. They're teaching you something for a reason, and if you follow what they say, they're probably going to be more willing to continue helping you, because they know that you're teachable. Where if you're just kind of going off and doing your own thing, they'll probably pick up on that a little bit and be like, well, I can only help you to a certain point if you're not listening to me, which in a nice way, but that's kind of the truth of it. And I see people in my team, the ones that follow the system and they're teachable, they're the ones whose teams are growing faster. They're moving along the pay plan faster. The ones who aren't so teachable will often be slowed down by that. It's not, I can definitely see the difference there. The other non-negotiable I have, and that I've done pretty much right from the start, is something I learnt from Kira, was about goal setting. So each month I will set my goals for myself. So I'll look back on my numbers from the month before, how many customers we had as a team, how many new team members came into our team, how many personal customers I want to get for the month, who's going for certain promotions, and I have that all written up pretty much right at the start of the month, so I know what I'm doing for the month. And then I teach my team to do the same. So I understand that everyone's setting goals at a different level. Some people are saying, I want my first team member. I want to get to, the promotions have different names here. They want to get to one of their first main levels here. So I know that what my team are working for that month as well. But if they don't set goals, I don't know what I'm helping them work towards. They're not excited to hit their goals if they haven't set goals. I'm not as excited, and I'm not going to push myself further if I haven't set those goals. So I think it's really important to have the goals, but then also stretch your goals a little bit further, because when it gets to the end of the month, you're going to be pushing harder to reach those goals. Where if you are kind of sitting back and just saying, look, I hit my goal already, I'm fine, I don't really need to work hard right now, that's going to have a flow-on effect for your business. So really teaching your team that from the start. Like they might set a goal and I might say to them, look, this is a more realistic goal. I think you could push for, I've had a lot of girls, we're coming up to our conference in Australia in June, and they might say, oh, I want to go for 3 club. And I might say, well, how about you push for 12? So if they push for 12, and they might end up somewhere in the middle, maybe 8, but at least they've pushed for 12 rather than just saying, I'm going to go for 3 and settling for that. So the other one that I think is a bit of a non-negotiable for me has been stepping out of my comfort zone. Not everything that I've done in my business has been comfortable for me. Speaking to people on a stage was not comfortable for me, but when I was asked to do something out of my comfort zone, I pretty much just said yes and then did it later. And I know that if it is something like that, speaking in front of people, that scares you, if you don't do it, you can't get better. So I know that anytime I'm asked to do something that scares me, it's only going to make me better doing it and improving. And afterwards I'll look back and think, okay, I could have done this better. I could have been a little bit more confident, or I could have, taken some different notes or whatever it might be. But if I haven't taken that chance to do something different, I can't stretch and I can't grow. And also my team would then see me doing things that I'm not going to say I'm uncomfortable or I'm nervous or I'm scared, but I'll just go up there and do it. And that's really leading by example for my team. So I try to do that a lot, and just, all the time leading by example. So that sort of encompasses a lot of the stuff that I've spoken about, leading by example, being positive, being consistent, following the system. If I do it, then I know my team are going to do it, and that just makes everything a lot easier. My other non-negotiable is just no excuses. I hear, stories from people, within reason, like my child's sick, I can't do this, or I'm busy, I can't do this, or I wasn't able to get on training tonight because of this. And I kind of think of it like, well, maybe you're not taking it that seriously. If you've got all these excuses that come up, it mustn't be that important to you. Or I was on holidays, like, okay, yeah, you're on holidays, but you still have a computer. You know what I mean? Like, you've still got to live your life, but if your business is important, you're gonna stick to what you said you're gonna do, and you're not gonna come up with excuses. Is that okay, Lauren? Do you want me to keep going? I think you're on
Can't
mute.
hear you, Lauren, you're muted.
I mean, it's so great, Erin, because the truth is, you're living it right now, but showing there's no excuses, right? And I mean, look you were what, 8 months pregnant when how old were you? I mean, how far along were you when you started the business?
I had my second child was 1. I had the other baby after that. Yeah.
Your second child was 1, and you were pregnant, right?
No, I was pregnant when I saw you last year in January with this one.
So that's what I'm trying to say. No excuses, right? I mean, and here's the question: was it worth it? Was it worth it for you to really, like, if you're really listening to what she's sharing? Her upline shared, get on that SC call, right? I'm assuming that Kira and Adam said to get on the fast track to SC call. She got on the call. She knew that we had some boundaries about, like, and I really was at the beginning. It's like, look, if you're not on the series, you're kicked out of the program. So she decided that, wow, this is something serious, and let's get going. So what happened for you? Why is it worth it? Why was it worth it, for you to really hunker down and help get all these people? I mean, how wide are you now with your front line? What's your business look like in really less than a year? What's happened for you in less than a year?
I think I'm about 10 PB wide, and I've got about, I'm pushing for about 60 clubs this month. So my goal is currently to get to 100 as quick as I can. So I know that I've got to build my front line all the time. I'm working on my team and helping them duplicate as fast as they can.
Right. So you guys are hearing the same thing that we've been saying, that we say all the time. There's not a lot to learn. What is it? Going wide, get those people qualified, keep adding frontline, right? I don't even know. I think it was Jeff, as I shared this morning, Jeff was in the beginning 70 SCs wide, right? When I went into NMD, which was a while ago. It was, I had gone in with 7 to 8 SCs just going in into NMD. Nowadays, I mean, you've got someone like right here, Aaron, or someone like Akira, who's going in with God knows how many SC, PB wide, 20 people wide. So that's why, even Cheryl talked about this morning, that width, and I shared, Joni was on the call, but Joni, like what happened when Joni fell out? Thank goodness I had other SCs that were in place to really, that I didn't like freak out when that one line went on hold for a second. So real quick, let's just ask some, if anybody has any questions. This is great. We got about 5 more minutes. What are you most grateful for, Erin, about this business? Why are you grateful that you worked your butt off while you had a 1-year-old, an older one, and pregnant, and now you've been nursing and building your business, and you have no excuses for going, you're at 60 Club, like you said. What are you most grateful for with regards to this?
Oh, I'm grateful for everything. It's just been amazing. I guess like having some of the opportunities, like even right at the beginning, I went to Hamilton Island. I got to meet Jeff and Lauren and all these amazing people. I think we have so much inspiration every day, and I can't even imagine what my life would be like now if I hadn't found this business. And there's so much more to it. All the girls in my team that I work with every day, and they're so amazing. And I find that the people that have come into my business are these amazing people that I just want to hang out with. And I think a lot of that comes down to attraction and where you've taken yourself personally, then all these amazing people come. But if you're feeling personally for yourself, like, you're not in the best place, then I don't think you can attract the right people if you're not in the right place. So just, I don't know, everything that's happened. I'm taking Lily to America in April. I don't think I would ever have gone to America if it wasn't for this. And I mean, that's out of my comfort zone, taking she'll be 1 then, taking a 1-year-old on a plane for 15 hours. It's going to be
fine. You'll be fine. I did it 6 times a year. I was just talking about it, that I used to travel to Australia with Josh, learned how to walk. I used to go about 6 times a year to Australia, and he took his first steps over there at the Intercontinental in Sydney. But I used to travel 6 times a year to Australia, Singapore, and Kuala Lumpur. And then I was like, and there were no phones and no video players and nothing on the plane. I'm like, oh my God. So you'll be fine. We'll take care of you. You'll do great. She'll do great. So anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions?
I have a question, even though I speak to Erin all the time. I somehow have a question. Funny that. My question is more for my team than me, to be honest with you. But my question is, how do you deal with rejection? Like, what is it when someone says no to you? Like, how did you deal with that? Probably more at the beginning, because obviously now you're probably in a different space. But at the beginning, how did you deal with that? Like, how did you not let kind of like a bad day? Like, I like the phrase, don't give up on a bad day. But what is it for you at the beginning that really kept you going? Was it the fact that you had a strong why? Was it the fact that you did goal setting? Like, what was the maybe one thing or a couple of things that you would give to someone right now to deal with rejection and the no's and that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I'd already decided that I was doing this, so I think pretty much from day one I knew I was doing this. So if I was speaking to someone and they gave me some rude comment, or my brother-in-law said, I'd invited him to an event and I said, this could be amazing for you, and he just said, look, I'm never going to do that, I'm not interested. And I probably could have gotten really upset and said I'm never going to speak to him again or something, but I just pretty much brushed it off completely. And I just said, look, that's kind of his problem, because in a couple of years when our life's totally changed and we don't have to go to work from 9 to 5 every day and have a boss and do all this stuff we don't want to do, then he's going to be the one. I just use it more as a fuel for my fire to say, well, I'm going to kind of show you. And like, I didn't have too much negativity, but I might have been disappointed at the start if I'd spoken to someone and maybe I started to get hopeful that they were going to come into the business, and then they said, oh no, I'm not going to start. But that was probably because I was thinking more about me getting a new team member, where it wasn't about I need more team members. It was my focus should have been on, could I really help this person? So I probably had it around the wrong way, but at the end of the day, I can't let any of that get to me. And now I more just think, well, it's kind of their loss, or hopefully it's not their loss. Maybe they'll come back later, but for
I
now,
love
I'm
that.
going to speak to somebody else who wants to do this.
I love what you said. You know, the truth is you just decided you were going to do this, and she put her blinders on and not let anybody. I think most is that decision. When there's the day that you sign up, as we say, and then there's the day that you decide that I'm really going to do this. You know, so there's a lot of you maybe that might be like, I've signed up and I've been in the business. I hear people say, oh, I've been in the business, you know, for a while now. You might have signed up a while ago, but have you really been in the business? Have you really said, you know what, today's the day that I'm really going to do this? And if you can hear in her voice, she just said, I'm going to do this. And like you said, they need you more than you need them, right? Unfortunately, that's what it is. It's very funny how that happens, and you just never know when it's going to be. So thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. Really excited that you're going to be here in Anaheim, and all of you that are in the U.S. and saying you're not going to come into Anaheim, or that you have friends that say they're not coming to Anaheim. You know, she's coming all the way from Australia with a 1-year-old in her hands. So, or anybody from the U.S. and Canada, this is an absolute must. I mean, there's no reason. This is foundational for our businesses, really getting to these events. But she's also look at her. She decided with this call. Those of you have people that are new in the business and are deciding to say, I'm really going to do this. Make sure that they're on these events as well. So thank you again, Erin. We really appreciate it. Stay true, baby.
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt you, Lauren. Can I just say, Erin actually. A part of my fault as well, because I speak to Erin so much, I forgot to remind her that this call was on, because I just automatically thought she knew. And then Erin this morning was like, oh my God, and she actually had something planned at 8 o'clock, and she moved things around so that she could do this call. So if there's anybody that makes this a non-negotiable, and it's funny because the topic was non-negotiables, she had committed to this call and she did it no matter what, even though she had to do something for her husband this morning. She's still, and her son is sick right now. She's still on the call. So if an NMD in Australia is doing that, then we all need to take a bit of advice from it. So yeah, big thank you, Erin.
No worries.
Thank you, Erin. That was awesome.
Hopefully I'll see you guys in America.
Thank you very much. Bye, all.
We're trying to warm up California for you.